Hello everybody, welcome back to another vlog. In this one, we're going to be doing something that I am super duper excited about. We're going to be going through my Notion setup today, which I am so excited to show you guys because I've been putting a lot of work into it and I think it's finally ready. So I'm going to show you guys how I use it for school, how I use it for work, content creation planning, any personal things. I literally use it every single day. So I'm really excited to show you guys how I organize my entire life using Notion. First, I want to say that this is not sponsored. I just really love the program, and it has a Mac app as well as a regular website that you could use on any device, and it also has an iPad app, a mobile app. You can use it anytime, anywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and get right on into this. We're going to hop into my MacBook and I'm going to show you all of the pages that I have. All right, so I brought you guys down to my desk to talk about my Notion templates. So I'm going to go through my personal Notion first, and then we're going to go through my school Notion, which is a little bit different, and I'll talk about that in just a second. All right, so this is the template that I have for you guys. So it just says your name's Notion. You can add your name here, but this is basically the home page of the Notion that I'm going to be giving you guys. So we're going to go through the home page first and then go through all of the individual pages from there. So for my header up here, this is actually a YouTube banner template from Canva that I uploaded some pictures from Pinterest that I found and threw them in here, and it works out perfectly. So I went for a very beachy blue and cream and gray sort of theme for summertime, which is really pretty, and I have absolutely loved using this. Coming down here, I have an icon that I have been using for my own dashboard, which you can obviously change by clicking on it and then uploading whatever you want or finding an emoji. But this is the one that I have. I'm a huge Disney nerd if you're new, so I put the Disney castle up there because why not? And then after the title of the database is all of the sub pages that I have them categorized by different things. So in the personal section, I have a couple pages, self-care, I have a couple pages, hobbies, I have a couple pages, and then a work section that's blank for you guys to upload any sort of work-related things that you might have. And then these color blocks are actually images that I have uploaded from like the internet, and I have added them as sort of color coding sort of blocks. We're gonna scroll down a little bit more, and we're gonna go to my calendar section. So this is where you would add things like maybe a doctor's appointment or a vacation or something like that. Sort of like a paper planner or agenda digitally, basically. So I have a calendar over here as well as a weekly plan with, you would put the days of the week here and then all of the individual dates for every day with a to-do list down here that you can add and cross off things. But I'm going to go now through all of the little subpages up at the top section. So we're going to go through the personal stuff first. This section is my bucket list section. So I had every page its own little theme and aesthetic. So this one is very dreamy and cloud-like because obviously it's like your bucket list, things that you dream of doing. So this first section is things like travels and experiences and things like that. And I uploaded a little picture over here. I also added this Disney casting agency because that's on my bucket list, is to work for Disney one day. So that's the ultimate goal for me. But then I have sections like purchases and dates if you're maybe in a relationship or you have ideas to go do things with friends. That's what you would put there. So it's just sort of a fun little list here. It's very simple and easy to use, and I've been enjoying adding to it throughout my time using Notion. Back in the dashboard, we're going to go to my finance tracker next, which I've absolutely loved using. Obviously, this is the template version, but I have all of my stuff sort of private for obvious reasons. I found this little Notion banner on Pinterest. If you search up Notion banner, it'll pop up with like pre-populated things that people have made that you can use. So this is one of them. I really like this. It's really cute. And then I added a little money thing here for its icon. Down here is just the rest of the page. So we're going to go through my spending database first. I love Notion for this purpose because you can add things into databases and it just organizes everything way better than you probably could have done yourself, which is cool. And it's sort of automated in some ways. So I added a couple little examples here. So I put dinner here because maybe you went to dinner with a friend. And then over here you would put the amount. So if it was taken out of your account, obviously it would be a subtraction out of your big sum down here. And then I would put the day that you either purchased or had money put into your account, whatever category it was. I have a couple categories here that you can use, but you can obviously delete and add whatever you want. And then I also have card type over here, which is something that's new that I just added. It helps if you have multiple cards on your account that you can sort of track what you used on what. So I have a credit and a debit card, so I put those two as options over there. And then at the end of the month, or however long you're filtering it, which you can do over here with the filter section, But at the bottom here is a sum of however much you spent in a month or however long. So I thought that was really cool. I made this myself and I put a lot of work into it. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I would have a couple links, but obviously I don't have them on your version. But this is sort of like if you have an online bank like me, you could put the website there and all of your banking information in there if you want to see it like detailed out on the website itself. Or you could put something like maybe you're using First Citizens Bank. You can put your First Citizens information in there or something like that. And then as for investment, same sort of situation. Maybe you have an IRA that you have been adding to and you want to see what it looks like. You can put that link there too. And then I have a little picture of money down here. So that's what the finance planner looks like. Going on to the password bank now. This is one that I actually sort of stole from Charlotte Pratt here on YouTube. She gave all of her Notion templates as well. I'll have her channel linked in the description. This is my password bank section. It looks very bland, but that's just because I literally added it a couple days ago and I'm excited to sort of work in here, but obviously I wouldn't show my passwords, so it's just kind of collapsed right now. This is just sort of an all-in-one password bank that you can reference wherever you are, because it does have a mobile app too that you can use on the go, which is cool.
Hey guys, Editing M here. So I just realized as I'm going through editing this Notion tour that I never showed you one of my absolute favorite pages because I skipped over it. So I'm going to show you that now through voiceover. So this is my travel planner, and honestly, I have absolutely loved working with this. I've only had this for like the past 3 days or so, but I didn't want to upload this video without inserting a segment of the travel planner in here. So here it is. This is one of the pre-made templates that Notion has. If you go to new page, you can go to the template section and make sure you're in the personal section, otherwise it won't pop up. And you can just do travel in here. And then travel planning, and this is basically my starting point that I used. I sort of deleted and added things depending on what I wanted, but this was my starting place. So now we can go into the actual page. So this top header, I searched just like everything else that I've done. And then obviously we have a little bit of a plain emoji over here. And then now I have a packing list. This looks exactly the same as the original template. I didn't add or subtract anything from here other than my literal clothes that I'm bringing in things. But this layout is exactly the same. As far as the outfits and photos section goes, so sometimes I'll pack an item of clothing or something and then forget what I paired it with and I don't end up wearing it. So I plan on taking photos in every outfit that I pack and putting pictures in here so that I kind of remember which goes with what so that I don't overpack. Down here is my flight information, or what would be my flight information. So I have the departing flight and arrival flight because obviously a lot of the time at least you're doing a round trip flight if you're flying anywhere. You have the dates of your vacation, the airport that you're flying in and out of, the airline, the flight number, as well as any notes. So say you're going somewhere that requires a layover flight, you can put your layover stuff in here. This is going to be really nice to use on the go, especially on the iPhone app, because you can just look at it right here and not have to go to like a board in the airport to try and find your flight. And then the last thing on here is the map of my location. So I will be going to Nashville this next weekend and I'm very excited about it. So I just inserted a Google Maps link here, but if you wanted to change it, you can just click this button here, the original tab with the arrow, and then you can search whatever location you're going to and replace the link here. I used Nashville as an example just so that you can kind of see what it looks like. That's what the travel planner looks like. Now we can go back to the original video.
We're going to go into the self-care section next. So these are two that I have already linked on my channel, but I'll link them again for you guys. So this is my monthly reflection template. Monthly reflections are all about growth, and I feel like whenever I think of growth, I think of plants. So we went for a like plant theme sort of in here. It looks very bland right now, but that's because all of the information is in these toggles here. So whenever I say I have this little section for my monthly reflection in any of my reset videos, this is what I'm referencing. This is just sort of a glance at what a template would look like. And then if you are in a new month, you would click this button, which is something that I love about Notion. You can basically make mini templates within the bigger page so that you can just click a button and it auto-populates everything for you. If you want to edit it in any way, you would click the settings button and then edit whatever it is down here. You can just add things to here. You would replace this with, say, July, because that's what month it is. That's what that would look like. And then you could just go down and add everything that you want. We're going to go through the goals and habits section next. So I found this little template up here the same way that I found the money one, but this one I sort of made into like a fall sort of theme. I don't really know why. I was just drawn towards all of the browns in the little template up here, so that's what I went with. Down here is sort of the same situation. So I have a new month template that will populate what this looks like, and then you can separate it. This is a database actually, but you can separate it by whatever category you want, or you can just make it a list by editing it and deleting these things and just making it a list. It's pretty straightforward and simple, but it's nice to have all of your goals and habits all in one place so that you can keep yourself accountable. And then over here in the hobby section, this is very arbitrary and really only something that I use, but if you have something that you're trying to track, or if you're trying to grow your own channels or social media platforms, this is a great way to do that. I literally use these, I think, the most out of everything on this template. So we're gonna go through the YouTube one first. This is sort of the color palette of my own channel, as you've probably noticed by now, but you can obviously always add your own YouTube banner to this banner up here, and it'll actually look exactly the same, which is cool. So that's what I've done on my own stuff. And then I found this little YouTube icon online and just sort of removed the background, and now it's just a pink little YouTube icon. Down here I have a links section. So this is something like maybe if you wanted to link your YouTube studio, or I have a sub page in here that we'll go through in a minute. Things like that that you just want to have hyperlinks for, you can upload them in here. And then I have a quote to remind myself that the numbers and the algorithm don't really matter if you're not creative. I also have a brand colors section just in case you're trying to make any sort of marketing promo or trying to make all of your branding in every platform cohesive. You can just add your colors in here. This is probably, on my version at least, the biggest database that I have. So this is the database / video ideas section that I use literally all the time. So I'm actually going to go over here first and talk about what these are so that it makes sense over here. So this is the video ideas section that I made. It also has a button over here that you can edit the page, but when you click the new video button, it would populate this title page and you can just upload, say that we're doing my Notion tour. So you would type in that there and then put all of the other information that you might need. You can delete and add things to it, but this is what I use on a daily basis, and it's really, really helpful for uploading and optimizing my videos for when they get posted. So once you have sort of created your idea for your video, you're going to go into probably the calendars, one of the calendars. So I have it separated by filming schedule and posting schedule just because my life is so crazy that I need a filming schedule in order for me to post on time. So I'm going to go into the posting schedule section actually, and say you wanted to post this video on like Saturday the 22nd. So you would move this into here, and then automatically this little section here would have all of the other little things that are in the status section over here. Say you're posting it on the 22nd and you want to film it today, the 16th, as I'm filming this. So then you can go in here and say, okay, is it filmed yet? Is it just an idea? Do you need to plan it still? Do you need to edit it? Is it already posted? And then you can go over here and say, did it go live? Because sometimes I have added something online and just left it there, and then a day goes by and I'm like, why hasn't anybody seen this video? And it's just because it wasn't live. So that's happened before. So I have this to remind myself, make sure that it goes live. That's sort of how that schedule sort of works. I use this literally all the time and it has saved my life. I absolutely love it. Over here I have my standard editing elements, so things like tags that I use in every video, or product and referral links, things like that. And then down here I have my YouTube goals. So I would put like July, like say I want to get a certain number of subscribers, or say I want to get a certain amount of watch time in a month. That's where you would put that there. And then I have an overarching yearly goal. And then down here I have milestones. So this is something that's kind of fun to track, especially if you're smaller. So you can go in here and basically add however many subscribers you got here, and so then you have a little bit of a list of how far you've grown in a year, which is really fun. And then down here I have monetization, so all of the brands that I would have worked with, I'm not monetized and I don't have any sort of brand collaborations right now. So for me this is empty too, but if you have some monetizations that you want to keep track of, maybe brands that have certain requirements or something like that, you can put those in there too. So that's what my YouTube section looks like. This is probably one of my favorite ones that I've made. I'm going to go into the short form ideas little page in here. So this is where I have put obviously all of my short form content ideas. So up here is a key. This key is for like posting schedule times for all of my short form stuff, which I have yet to really use. I've just sort of been doubling into it a little bit. It's something that's here for me in case I want to use it someday. I found this picture in the Notion like pre-populated Notion headers, so that's really cool. I went for like a pastel rainbow summary type of vibe for this page, if you can't tell. And then I have all of my platforms that I personally use, as well as things for ideas. So this is for reels and shorts, and you can also make this like a TikTok section. I don't have TikTok personally because it definitely rotted my brain when I had it, but I added it here for you guys in case you wanted to add stuff for your own stuff. I'll have my links for my socials in the description too. That's sort of what this looks like. Obviously you can edit it however you want, but that's how mine looks. And then the last page in my personal Notion is the content planner. So this is one that I basically have everything all in one place. This has a really pretty Notion header that Charlotte Pratt made that I haven't changed because I just love it so much. And then I have a little camera icon here. And then down here is basically where I would track when I posted what. I don't really use the actual calendar very much, but it's here in case you want different forms of tracking. This is where you can put all of your social media links. And then down here, I have other pages that are within my Notion. So I have the YouTube section that we went through, as well as the brain dump / to-do list. And I have a little motivational quote over here. It says, "Hey you, don't give up, okay?" Okay. And then down here I have another quote that says, "Big things happen not all at once, but one step at a time." I like to compare myself to bigger and what I think is better creators. Anyways, I also have a weekly to-do list that's a little bit different than my homepage weekly to-do list. This is something that's like, instead of saying post on Instagram, this is the thing that's like, post this concept on Instagram at this time. And then down here I have resources, so things like hashtags that you would use in smaller content. I don't really use these very much, but they're here for you guys in case you do. That's basically all of my personal Notion. So now we're going to go through my school Notion, which is much different. Basically how I've done this is everything that's related to school, I use my school account for, my school email, and everything that's like other than school pretty much is on my personal email. And that's mostly just because when I'm done with school in a year, I won't have access to my email anymore. So I decided to put the things that I use on a daily basis on my personal email, and then all the things that I just use for school on my school account. And something really cool about Notion is that if you do have a school account, whether it's a college account or any sort of university, sort of higher education sort of email account, you can get the education plan, which I think has a little bit more capabilities for free instead of having to pay a certain number a month for that. You can totally put everything all in one place, no problem, but I decided not to do that just because I want to have access to this email after like a year and a half. So here we are in my classroom hub. So at the beginning of this section we have my header, which is actually Charlotte Pratt's header, but I'm giving credit where credit is due because it is just so cute, so aesthetic, and I absolutely love it. I don't want to change it because it's just that nice, so we're just going to keep it. And it's really great because I do go to Clemson, hence the tiger icon, so it's really nice that all of the things sort of are warmer toned because you got to get a little bit of the orange in there somewhere. Next up we have a widget, which is fun. So Notion has the capability to insert widgets, things like, the weather or a little clock icon or things like that. I have my graduation up here on a timer for midnight on my graduation day, which is fun. Next up, we have my weekly schedule. So I put in some like fake weekly things in here just so that you guys can kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. We have basically a weekly overview schedule of all the classes and when they are and what days they are and things like that. I've not really had a chance to use it just because the first time that I did use this template, I was working from home and didn't actually have classes. So I look forward to using this section once my school starts and I'm taking 4 classes instead of just like 1. Next up, I have a to-do list, which is fun. So it's pretty much like any other list or agenda or planner that you've ever used, except it's digital. So this is where I would put all of my school assignments that I have to do for the week, maybe things that are due, things that I have to make sure that I have done. Pretty easy and simple. Generic to-do list. This section basically has everything that you would need to know about your teacher and the class in general, no assignments or anything like that. So I have the class title, which is here, the semester that you're taking it, the teacher's name, the day and time that you're taking the class, as well as the Canvas page, should you have something like that. You can also put in like your Blackboard page or any other sort of online assignment type of links in here, as well as the email for the teacher itself. And then you can also insert PDFs, so you can put your syllabus in here, which is really helpful. And then whenever you want a new one, you can just click the new tab and it'll auto-populate. And in order to add yourself a cover, you would just click this button here. It auto-populates all the things that you would need to know right in here. Next up is probably my favorite part of this section, and that is the assignments page / database. So in here, obviously you can see I have a bunch of assignments in here from my last class that I took. Over here is the generic assignments list. So this is like your master list of things. Any class, any time, any semester, even if you're using this for more than one semester, would all be in here. There's also a calendar tab over here, so you can see them sort of in a calendar view. Over here, I have them filtered out by class. So this is one class that I took, and it's filtered over here. So you can filter it by the due date, by the class that it was taken. So that's really fun. You can also sort them. So say you want to see like what's due at the very end of the semester, you can sort it by like latest to earliest due date. And it'll do that for you if you want it to, but I'm not going to do that for the sake of this video. What I'm trying to get to here is that on your assignment list, you might have every single thing that you're using and every single class that you've ever taken, and you just want to look at one class. Well, you can go over here and go to filter, and then select the class in the filter section, and it'll only show you the classes for that class, or the assignments for that class. So I'm going to go over here to GC 2400, and you'll see it's very different. I've only inserted one class, and I'm not even taking the class yet, but this is just for me to show you guys. So if you want to add a class, what you would do is you would go over here to New View, type in the class name. So I'm going to put 4060 because I'm going to be taking that next semester. Click Done. And so right now it doesn't look very different than the regular assignments list, right? Well, you would go over here to the assignments list and say you wanted to add an assignment. And then you would go over here and create a new class in this little class column. So GC 4060, click enter. And so now what you can do is you can go into the GC 4060 tab, filter it by class, and boom, you only have one class you're looking at instead of all of them. So I really like this. I love the idea, and I'm definitely using it next semester because there's going to be a bunch of things happening. So I look forward to using this during my little planning sessions for the week, and it'll be really satisfying to watch them get checked off if they're finished or not. So that's basically the assignments list. I'm going to go inside of these two, and something really fun that you can do is not only insert all of the things that I showed you already at the top of the table in here, it's just in a list, but you can also insert things like a Google Drive folder or a Google Drive link that I did here. And then you can also do random notes and stuff. So I have a couple notes in this one, I think. Yeah, it's just a bunch of like random notes in here. So it's really nice to have everything that you need all in one place. And you can even insert a link to the individual assignment instead of just the class in general. So I thought that was really fun. Feel free to edit this the way you want, but this is just what works for me. So that's basically my entire Notion tour. So that might have been a pretty long video, but that's just because I literally use this for every single aspect of my life. So I love Notion. Notion, please sponsor me if you see this video. I would love to work with you guys. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little Notion tour, and if you did, please give it a like. I would really appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.